Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have an all new round of speed reviews. So I do like to do this video at the end of every month and rank all of the products I tried this past month. So I did try out quite a few new products recently. So if there are any products that you saw me try recently that aren't in this video, it's just because I haven't had enough time to thoroughly play with them. So I do like to try out all of these products at least a handful of times before putting them in one of these videos. So anything that's not in this video will be in my end of March speed reviews, but let's hop right into it. We have 17 items to get through this month. So let's hop into it. Coming in number 17 is actually from Surratt. And this is their Lip Slick, and this is in the shade Paramour. So I do think the packaging of this is very, very beautiful. I will mention I did get this in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. So I didn't pay full price for this, but full retail price for this product is 46 Canadian dollars. It's not unheard of for me to spend that on a lip product, but this is essentially just a shiny lip balm. That's all it is a shiny lip balm. I know for sure that this is supposed to be somewhat like the Tarte, but NYX also just came out with shiny lip balms, and those are literally a fraction of the price and they do the same thing. So this is my first product I've ever tried from Surratt, and I've heard they have a lot of really, really great products. I just can't rank a lip balm that high because the NYX product does exactly the same thing. It looks very similar on the lips and it's a fraction of the price. The packaging of the Surratt is way prettier. It's just not $46 special. Coming at number 16 is from Tarte. This is the Maracuja Juicy Concealer, and this is an interesting consistency. So you can see it is just a basic potted concealer. The packaging feels very inexpensive. It's just a little plastic container. It's really not very luxurious. So I did get the shade Fair, which is a little bit light. It's perfect for my under eyes, but for spot concealing it is too light. The product itself is very interesting because it's supposed to be infused with an eye cream, which I love, but it also makes it to be a very thick cream concealer. So it's nothing like the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the pot. It's not even similar to the MAC Concealer in a pot that I also enjoy. This is just different. So this one, it's very, very thick and you're supposed to warm it up between your fingers and then apply it. So I don't like applying foundations and concealers with my fingers. The only makeup items that I don't mind applying with my fingers are shimmer shadows. So that did lose a lot of points with me there, and I just think it's a really strange consistency. Another part of the reason I did knock it down is because it is too light for me to spot conceal, and I found it very difficult to shade match online. Other than that, this gives a really beautiful full coverage. It looks really, really nice on the under eyes, and I think if I had a better shade, this would be a wonderful spot concealing concealer. Under the eyes, it does feel very nice. It feels very hydrating. I do love that it's infused with eye cream. It's a very unique consistency. So again, mostly it's just the packaging feels very cheap and the consistency is something I'm not used to from a concealer. And I don't like that I have to warm it up between my fingers before I use it. Otherwise, I think it's a really nice concealer. Coming in at number 15 is also from Tarte. This is the Shape Tape Cloud Coverage. I got this one because Kelly Gooch raves about this one, and I tend to like a lot of the same things that she does. So this is in 16B Fair Light, so the shade actually works quite well for me. I love that it's a squeezy tube with a pump. I love that. The thing that I don't like is that I can prep my skin the same every single day. Some days this looks dry on me, some days it looks nice, and I find that very confusing. So I don't like when a product is so inconsistent. I do think this is more of a medium coverage. I think it looks really nice on the skin on the days that it looks good. I think this just might be a foundation that's better for me in the summer months when my skin is just naturally more hydrated. I will definitely probably revisit it then. If any of you have dry skin and live in a colder climate, you know exactly what I mean. We have summer foundations and we have winter foundations. So this could just very well be one of my summer foundations. Coming in at number 14 is from the Sephora brand. This is the Sephora Colorful Luminizer. So I got this on a recent Sephora trip and I think this is really pretty. So it does feel much more like a baked formula. It is just a very basic little highlighter. It looks very, very pretty. And this one is in the shade 05 Iced Pearl. And this is not the most blinding highlight. This is one that you can build up, but that is also just beautiful for an everyday glow from within type of highlight. And I think that's really beautiful. So I do actually like this quite a lot. It's just ranking lower because there were some products this month I tried that just made me speechless. So that's why this one is ranking lower despite being very, very good. I was surprised that it was more of a baked formula. I don't typically prefer baked formulas just because they have that tendency to get hard pan a little bit easier. But otherwise, the price point on this one is 10 out of 10. I love how affordable the Sephora collection is, and I really do like this product. There are some highlighters in my collection that I do prefer, like the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Glide highlighters. Those are still my absolute favorite, but this is a wonderful formula as well. Coming in at number 13 is from Tarte, and this is their Maracuja Juicy Eye and Cheek Palette. So I did review this one recently. I do have a full review video up on this one, and this is an interesting product. So the packaging itself, I really enjoy. The color story is beautiful. I think it's a really beautiful pinky brown, everyday color story. And then you get these two pinky blushes and a contour. I honestly thought I would not love these as much, but it turns out these are my favorite part of the palette. I do find for the eyeshadows that the shimmers are a little bit lackluster, but they're very, very smooth. So I think if you're somebody who maybe has more mature lids or more texture, or you just don't want an overly shimmery look every time, you might actually really enjoy these shadows. These are not their typical Amazonian clay formula. I do love the Amazonian clay formula. These are not that. I also found that these faded by the end of the day. These cream products, however, are beautiful. I at first thought that the contour was going to be too deep or too warm. It actually worked very, very well for me. It does look very pigmented, but it's incredibly blendable and it does sheer out quite easily. I think these blushes are beautiful. This middle one is a little vibrant for my taste. This is a gorgeous everyday blush shade. I think it's so, so pretty. I'll show you some quick swatches of those now. They do feel much more like an oil base than a cream base. There's a lot of slip to these. So you can see they're just really, really pretty colors. But because they are more oil based, they are so easy to blend. I think in my initial review, I even said I do not have high hopes for this. I don't think these are gonna last all day. But they were still with me 10, 12 hours later. So I was really quite impressed by this palette. It's just the eyeshadows were kind of the letdown. Coming in at number 12 is from ColourPop, and this is their Twilight palette. And I've always loved Twilight. I was somebody who read the books first, then saw the movies and really, really enjoyed them. I was lucky enough to snag it on launch day. I know there was a bit of a snag with that. They did not stock enough. And overall, I think the packaging is so beautiful. I think they did a great job capturing the essence of the first movie. I know there was some discussion about there should be some, like maybe a gold in here, a red to represent their eyes, things like that. But I think this overall captured the gloomy vibe of Forks, which is where the movie takes place. So I think this is a really great color story. I think a red really wouldn't have had anything to work with in here. And same with the gold, because this does lean very cool toned. I heard a rumor that there are supposed to be more collections for the other movies as well. I'm hoping that rumor is true, but I cannot confirm. Overall, I'm really happy with this. No, I don't use a lot of blue. I do love green, and I have created some really pretty cool tone looks with this that I really enjoyed. I will say this is a palette I bought literally out of nostalgia. I think the color story is pretty, but this is probably one that I would have chosen to admire from afar if it wasn't Twilight. So definitely the nostalgia got me on this one, but the quality's great. The thing I don't like is that it does have some pressed glitters in here that I'm very unlikely to use, but I'm still very, very happy that I have this one. The quality is otherwise wonderful, and you can get some really great everyday looks from here if you want to. The outer packaging is beautiful. I love this palette. I'm glad I picked it up. Coming in at number 11 is from Makeup Forever. This is the HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. I have the shade 1RO2. I do have a full review and wear test of this one as well. I like this foundation a lot. So in the past, when I purchase their foundations, I typically get 1N06 because years ago, I was matched to R260 in their regular Ultra HD formula. That converts to 1N06, but that is not my shade at all. 1RO2 is almost a perfect skin match for me. It's probably one of the best matches in my whole collection. I love this. It's glowy, it's easy to work with, it applies beautifully with a brush, wears all day, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. It's kind of more of a light medium coverage, but I really enjoy it. I like this better than the regular HD Skin foundation because it is a little bit more glowy. I do prefer a little bit more coverage than this one gives, but overall I think it's a beautiful, beautiful foundation and I'm really enjoying wearing it. I think they did a wonderful job with this one. Makeup Forever doesn't usually miss when it comes to foundations, in my opinion, but I think this one is stunning. Coming in at number 10 is from REM Beauty, and this is their new Satin Matte Bronzer in the shade Send to Voicemail. So they recently released bronzers and blushes, and I've been trying them since I first received them. So the packaging is definitely very, very REM. I like this bronzer quite a bit. It is very buttery to the touch, very silky. This is what that shade looks like. It's hard to pick up on camera because it is very, very light. I don't mind that. I think this bronzer is beautiful. I love how silky it is to the touch. I love how easy it is to blend out. I've had a few times where I got a little too excited. I got way too much on my brush and then I just plopped it on my face and I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? It blended it like a dream. So I do think this is a wonderful, wonderful formula, and I'm pretty sure she has a good shade range with these two. The packaging is going to be a little bit more harder to store just because it's kind of a weird shape, but otherwise I think this is a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. I'll enjoy using this one. I'm definitely leaving it out because I love how silky it is. I love how blendable it is, and I actually really like how light it is too, just given that I'm so fair. It's just really, really nice to have bronzers in my collection that are actually not going to turn me orange. So I do love this. And coming in at number 9 is from NYX. I picked up the new Pro Fix Stick Correcting Concealer. I grabbed the shade 04 Light, so they did come out with correctors and concealers. So this is essentially a concealer in a stick, and this is what it looks like. This is a wonderful concealer. So this is a little bit thicker as well, and this is one that you can just draw on the under eyes and then blend it out with your finger and you're done. This is great for a no makeup day, but it also goes with the full glam makeup day if you want to. I do think this blends out best with your fingers. And I know I hate that, but this concealer is so good that I don't mind. I can blend it out with my fingers. This sets down. It does not need to be powdered, and it does not crease. I mean, I do kind of try to avoid that crease here anyway, but it just gives such a beautiful coverage. It doesn't move around. It doesn't feel drying. It sticks around all day long, and it just looks so nice on the under eyes, and it's just so convenient in this little stick. So I've really been loving this. I honestly didn't know if I would or not, but I think NYX did a really, really great job with these. Coming in at number 8. So I'm actually sprinkling in some nail products this month because nails are just a really important part of my routine, and I'm constantly trying to find the perfect products. I'm somebody who does not have the patience to go get my nails done. I also just don't have the time. I also don't love doing my nails frequently. So if I can find something that's going to stick around for 2 weeks and it's not going to chip, it's not going to break down and need repairs, I'm happy. So I've also in the past struggled with at-home gel because for some reason, no matter how well I stick to the specific instructions, somehow the next day one of my nails will completely peel off. And I don't understand. It happens every single time. I go in with very thin layers. I cure the polish a little bit longer. Does not matter. One of them will inevitably peel off. But about maybe 6 months ago, Madam Glam reached out to me and sent me some gel polishes. And I was very grateful, but at the same time still skeptical because of every experience I'd ever had with at-home gels. And these were the very first gel polishes that I did myself that actually lasted 2 weeks. So recently they reached out to me again and offered to send me more gels. And this time I picked out the cat eye polishes because I'm obsessed with that trend. So I do have 2 of them right here. I have Northern Lights and Lost in New York. So this one is a subtle purple. You've probably seen me wear this in some of my recent videos. So this one is much more of a subtle cat eye because it's just like a purple glitter. And this one is really cool because it looks black, but then you can get that blue sort of effect right there. You actually can get that. And how this works is you apply your base layer of gel and then you go in with your color and then you use a little magnet to manipulate the pattern of the cat eye. So you can do this sort of line, which is actually exactly what I do every time, but you can do a lot of other things with them too. I have absolutely been loving these. I've actually used the purple one twice. I've used this one once because I don't necessarily love when my nails are black. They do have one, it's got a black base, but it's got like a fuchsia kind of shimmer, and I'm dying to get my hands on that one. But I do think their gels are absolutely fabulous. So this is not sponsored by any means, but they did send this to me and they did give me a code. It is Christy 35, which will save you 35% off at checkout. They have amazing, amazing gels. If you're looking for some at-home gel polishes that really work and have really unique shades, I would definitely check them out and use my code to save yourself some money, but that is not an affiliate code. I won't earn commission or anything like that. It's just there if you'd like to use it, but I absolutely love those. Coming in at number 8 is from Wayne Goss, and this is the Luxury Eye Palette in Amber. So first of all, the packaging on this is so luxurious. I was so excited to receive this in my lucky bag because I love Wayne Goss, but I'd never tried his eyeshadows. I was so excited to receive this one. And the formula in here is truly beautiful. It's definitely a very luxury formula. It's incredibly smooth and silky, so it really does feel like you're working with a very high-end formula, but it feels like this is a formula that's going to be beautiful on all different types of eyes, whether you have mature eyes, textured eyes, anything like that. These are going to look beautiful. So I really love that too. I love this color story. I love that you can go brown. I love that you can go a little bit more pink. This shimmer in here is gorgeous. The other day I just wore this shimmer and I thought it looked so pretty. I think this is a beautiful palette. I don't think you get the most amount of depth out of this one except for this shade right here, but it doesn't really bother me. I just think it's a beautiful palette and I do think he did a great job with this one. So coming in at number 6 is the other nail product I had to put in this video, and these are the Glamnetic press-ons. I have mentioned these many times before, but they did drop a bunch of new styles for Valentine's Day, and this was one of them. This is in the style Siren, and this is what I'm wearing right now. I think these are so pretty. I actually got a ton of comments on them in my recent Natasha Denona face palette video, so I was really excited to already have these lined up to be in this video. I love these. These are definitely that blue chrome mirrored sort of finish. I think they're so pretty. They do have this same style. These are in the short oval, which is my favorite shape and length that they have. They also have these in a pink, but I believe that's an Ulta exclusive. But I think the style is beautiful. I will say, because it is mirrored, they do get scratched up a little bit, but to me, it's not overly noticeable unless you're really close. I love Glamnetic press-ons because, again, I like being able to put them on and just wear them for 2 weeks because these actually do last 2 weeks. The Glamnetic glue is incredible. What I also love is that their nails are just very thick, so they withstand a lot of abuse. I am somebody who, I work 2 jobs. They both require me to be on a computer, and so I am typing constantly, which actually does a lot of damage to the nails. These hold up, so I think that's impressive. And again, the short oval is my favorite size. I also like the short round, but Even with the short round, I find they make the thumbs way too long, so I do end up trimming them. The short oval is just the absolute most perfect length and shape. I do like the short almond because I think they make my fingers look really long, but they are a little bit longer than I would prefer. So I was very excited that they released this style in the short oval, and I absolutely love these. I would 100% buy this style again. I think they're amazing. Coming in at number 5 is from Rare Beauty, and this is the Flexible Lifting Gel. So this is just a brow gel. I am always on a mission to find the perfect brow gel. This is what it looks like. It's just a tiny little spoolie on the end. So I find for me, I have quite a few brow hairs, but they are very fine, so they will droop very, very easily. But I also am not a fan of the laminated brow look at all. So I want a brow gel that is going to put my brows in place and then just leave them there. I don't want them to look crunchy. I don't want them shiny. I don't want anything like that. I just want a gel that's going to put them in place, and that's it. This does that. I was also really, really loving the LYS because it did the same thing, but I noticed with the LYS it really does get gunky around the applicator, so you do have to be careful to clean that one off. This one, I have not noticed that, so I do appreciate that. This is a phenomenal brow gel. I've been really enjoying it. Okay, coming in at number 4 is the new MAC Maximal lipsticks. This is their new reformulated matte line. So this is really pretty. So the difference with these is they actually have made the lipsticks a little bit bigger. So they're taller and a little bit thicker, and the tube is actually fully matte as opposed to having that softer metallic finish. You actually also get the MAC embossment right on the back of the lipstick, like this. So I think that's a really, really nice detail. And this one is in the shade Get the Hint, which is kind of a bright pink, but it's really, really pretty, and I think it's going to be a gorgeous shade for the spring. I am such a huge fan of MAC lipsticks. I've loved them for years and years and years. I have a huge collection of them. I just love them. They're beautiful. They're long wearing, especially the mattes, and I was worried when they were reformulating these because they didn't need to be reformulated. They were perfect. But it's still a very creamy formula. It doesn't feel overly drying, but it does dry down, lasts all day long. It's a beautiful, beautiful lipstick formula. Coming in at number 3 is from REM Beauty, and these are the Hypernova Satin Matte Blushes. I have the shade Peach Planet, and this, much like the bronzer, is very, very silky. And what a beautiful, beautiful blush shade. So this is going to be a gorgeous shade for spring, but this is just such a beautiful, blendable, easy to work with blush. It's so incredibly soft. It does look very airbrushed on the cheeks, and I'm very excited I was able to order these when they first came out because they're absolutely stunning. Coming in at number 2 is from Lancome, and this is their new Adult Tint Liquid Eyeshadows. These are so good. So I often rave about the Give Beauty liquid shadows because I have oily lids, and cream shadows don't tend to stick around all day if I don't prime them, whereas the Give Beauty ones will, and so did these. So this is what the shade looks like. This is Desert Sand, and this is such a beautiful, easy to work with shade. I love the applicator on this. This retails for about $30 Canadian. So still, it's a little expensive, but it's just so beautiful, so easy to work with. They're so easy to blend. They don't set down quite as quickly as the Give Beauty does. So if that's something you don't like about those, these would be a great option, but they are very similar in the fact that they will dry down, they'll last all day, they're not going to crease, they're not going to wear off. These just look so beautiful, and they will last all day on my oily lids without a primer. So these are absolutely incredible. And finally, coming in at number 1, I went to Sephora with my husband, and sometimes he decides that he's gonna spoil me a little, and he decided he had to buy me a Dior lipstick last time because I've never purchased one for myself. So I got one of the new Rouge Dior Velvet lipsticks in the shade 221 Frou Frou. I love this so much. The packaging is so luxurious and beautiful. The bullet itself is stunning. The shade is beautiful. It's this beautiful peachy nude. It goes with everything. It looks so pretty. It is so comfortable on the lips. When you let it dry down, it's actually very long wearing, and it just gives this sort of blotted look to the lips. It blurs the lines, and it just looks so stunning on the lips. So I love this. But that is it for me today. Those are all of the products I tried in February, except for a few that I haven't tried enough yet. Let me know down below what your favorite product of the month of February was. What are you looking forward to in March? I just love hearing from you guys so much. If you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!